We now have a Veda Gosham invocation by our Pandita.
गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामोपमश्रावस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिस्सेदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। ॐ आसुन इन्द्रक्षुमन्तं चित्रं ग्रामं सङ्गृहाय महाहस्ती दक्षिणेन विद्माहित्वा सुविकोर्मिन्तु विदेष्णन्तु विमानम् कविमात्रमवोभिः न हित्वा शूरदेवानमत्ताः सौवित्सन्तम् भीमन्नगाम् धारयन्ते एतोऽन्विन्द्रम् स्तवामेषानम् वस्वस्वराजम् न राधा सामर्धिषण्मः प्रस्तोषुवाकाशिश्रवत्सामगीयमानम् अभिराधा सा जुगुरुते आनो भरदक्षिणेनाभिसव्येन प्रमृश इन्द्रमानो वसोर्निर्भाक् उपक्रमस्वा भारतृषता कृष्णो जनानाम् अदाशोष्टरस्य वेदाः इन्द्रय उनुते अस्ति वाचो विप्रेभिः सनित्वा अस्माभिः सुदंसानिः सद्यो जुवस्ते वाजास्मभ्यम् विश्वश्चन्द्राः वशैष्टमक्षुजारन्ते स्वस्ति नो मिमीतामश्विना भगः स्वस्ति देव्यलीचरणर्वणाः स्वस्ति पूषा असौरो दधातु नः स्वस्ति द्यावाः पृथिवी सोचेतुना स्वस्तये वायमुपब्रवामहै सोमम् स्वस्ति भवानस्य यस्पतिः बृहस्पतिम् सर्वागणम् स्वस्तये स्वस्तया आदित्यासो भवन्तु नः विश्वे देवानो अद्या स्वस्तये वैश्वानरो वसोरग्निः स्वस्तये देवाभङ्गभवः स्वस्तये स्वस्ति नो रुद्रः पात्वं हासः स्वस्ति मित्रावरुणा स्वस्ति बध्ये रेवते स्वस्ति न इन्द्रश्चाग्निश्च स्वस्ति नो अतिते गृधे स्वस्ति बन्धामनोचरेम सूर्या चन्द्रमसा आविवा पुनर्गददाज्ञाता जानता सङ्गामेमहे स्वस्तयानन्दार्क्ष्यमरिष्टनेनम् महद्भूतं वायसं देवतानाम् असुरघ्नमिन्द्राशकम् समत्सो बृहद्यशो नावामिवारो हेमा अम्भोमुचामाङ्गिरा सङ्गयम् च स्वस्त्यात्रेयम् मनसा चतार्क्ष्यम् शरणम् प्रपद्ये स्वस्ति सम्भादे शुभायन्नो अस्तु प्रातरग्निम् प्रातरिन्द्रम् हवामहे प्रातर्मित्रावरुणा प्रातरश्विना प्रातर्भगम् पोषणम् ब्रह्माणस्पतिम् प्रातः सोमामुतरुद्रम् होमेम प्रातर्जितम् भगामुग्रम् होमेम वयम् पुत्रमदेतेर्यो मे हर्तात् आग्रश्चिद्यम् मन्यामानस्तुरश्चिद्राजा चिद्यम् भगम् भक्षेत्या भगप्रणेतर्भगसत्या राधो भगेमान्दियमुदा वाददन्नः भगप्रणो जनयगोभिरश्वैर्भगप्रन्द्रभद्रवन्दस्याम उदेदानीम् भगावन्दस्यामोतप्रापित्व उदमध्ये अह्नाः दोदेतामघवन् सूर्यस्य वयम् देवानाम् समतौ स्याम भगा एव भगावाम् अस्तु देवास्तेना वयम् भगावन्तस्याम तन्त्वा भग सर्वयुज्यो हवेमि सनो भगपुर एता भावेह समध्वरा योषसो नमन्तदधिक्रावे वसुचाये पदाय अर्वाचीनम् वासुविदम् भगन्नो रथामिवाश्वा वाजिन आवान्तो अश्वावतेर्गोमातेर्न उषासो वीरवाते सदा बुच्छन्द भद्राः घृतम् दुहाना विश्वतः प्रवेता यूयम् पात स्वस्तिभिः सदा नः। श्रद्धया निस्समिध्यते श्रद्धया आहूयते हविः श्रद्धान्मगस्य मूर्धनि वचसा वेदयामसि प्रियं श्रद्धेति दातः प्रियं श्रद्धेति दासितः प्रियं भोजेषु यद्वस्सु जन्मामुदितं गृहे यथा देवासुरेषु श्रद्धामुग्रेषु चक्रिरे एवं भोजेषु यद्वस्वस्माकामुदितं गृहे श्रद्धां देवायमाना वायुगोपा उपासते श्रद्धा हृदया अयाकोद्या श्रद्धया विन्दते वसो श्रद्धां प्रातरहावामहे श्रद्धां मध्यन्ते नम्बरे श्रद्धां सूर्यस्य नमृतश्रद्धे श्रद्धापयेहणाः मेधामह्यमङ्गेरस मेधां सप्तर्षायो ददुः मेधामिन्द्रश्चाग्निश्च मेधां धाता ददातुते मेधां देवीं नो राजा मेधां देवी सरस्वती मेधान्ते अश्विनौ देवो वाधत्तां पुष्कारस्कृज या मेधा अप्सरस्सु गन्धर्वेषु शयन्मनाः देवी या मानुषे मेधा सा मावीशतादिमा यन्मेणोक्तं तद्रावतां शकेयं यदानुब्रवे निशावतन्निशामहे महे व्रतं सा व्रतेषु भूयासं ब्रह्माणा शरीरं मे विचक्षणं मा मे मदो मद्वहाम् अवृद्धमहमसो सूर्यो ब्रह्माणानेस्तश्रुतं मे मा प्रहासि मेधां देवीं विनासा निजामानां गन्धर्वजुष्टां प्रतीनोतिषस्वा मह्यं मेधां वद मह्यं श्रियं वद मेधापि भूयासमजराजरिष्णो सदा सस्पतिमद्बोधं प्रियमिन्द्रस्य काम्यं सनिं मेधामायाशिषम् या मेधां देवतानाः पितरश्चोपासते तया मामद्य मेधया अग्ने मेधाविनं कुरु मेधाव्या अहं सुमनाः सुप्रदेकश्रद्धामानः सत्यमासि सुषेवाः महायसा धारयिष्णः प्रवक्ता भूयासामस्मै शतया प्रयोगे कद्रुद्राजप्रचेदसे मे लुष्टामायतव्यासे ओचेमशन्तामंहृते यथा नो अतिथिः करपश्वेद्रभ्यो यथा कवे यथा तो गायारुद्रियम् यथा नो मित्रो वरुणो यथा रुद्रश्चिकेतते यथा विश्वे सजोषासः गातपातिं मेघपातिं रुद्रं जलाशुभेषुदम् तच्छय्यो सुम्नमेमहे यः शुक्र एव सूर्यो हिरण्यमिवरोचाते श्रेष्ठो देवानां वसुः सन्नः करत्यर्वाते सुखं मे शायामेष्ये नृभ्यो नारिभ्यो कवे अस्मे सोमश्रियमधिमिदेहि श्रुतस्या नृणाम् महिष्यवस्तुमिन्द्रम्णम् मानः सोमपरिबाधो मारातयो जुहुरन्ता आना इन्दो वाजे भजा यास्ते प्रजा अमृतस्य परस्मिन् धामन्नृतस्य मूर्धानाभा सोमवेण आभूषन्ते सोमवेदः मा रुद्राय तपसे कपर्दिने क्षयद्वीराय प्रभारामहे मतिः यथा शमसद्युपदे चतुष्पदे विश्वम् पुष्टङ्ग्रामे अस्मिन्नानातुरम् नृडानो रुद्रोतनो मे स्कधिक्षयद्वीराय नमसा विधेमते यच्छन्तयोश्च मनोरायेते पिता च तस्यामतवा रुद्रप्रणेदिशो अस्यामाते समतिन्देव यज्जया क्षयद्वीरस्य तवा रुद्रमेद्वः सुम्नायन्नद्विषो अस्माकमाचरारिष्टवीराजुहवामते हविः द्वेषं वयं रुद्रं यज्ञसाधं बङ्कुङ्कमिव वासे निह्वायामहे आरे अस्मद्देव्यं हेलो अस्य दशमतिमिद्वयमस्यावृणीमहे दिवो वाराहमार्षङ्कावर्दिनं पेषं रोपन्नमासा निह्वायामहे हस्ते बिभ्रद्धेषु जावार्यानि शर्मवर्मच्छद्दिरस्वभ्यं सते इदं पित्रे मृतामुच्यते वचस्वादो स्वादीयो रुद्राय वर्धानम् रास्वाचनो अमृतवर्तभोजानम् तुमने तोकायतनायाय मृला मानो मानो अर्भगम् मान उक्षन्त उतमान उक्षितम् मानो अवधे पितरम् मोतमातरम् मानः प्रियास्तन्वो रुद्ररीर्षः मानस्तो केतनाये माना आयो मानो गोषमानो अश्वेश्वरीर्षः मानो रुद्रवामितो वाजेर्हविष्मन्तः सतमित्वा हवामहे उपाते स्तोमाम् पशुपा युवाकारम् रास्वापितरमरुताम् सुम्नमस्मे भद्राहिते समुद्रमृळयत्तमाथा भयमभयित्ते वृणीमहे आरेते गोभ्यमुतपोरुषघ्नम् क्षेद्वीरसुम्नमस्मे ते अस्तो मृळाचानो अधिजब्रोहि देवाधा च नः शर्मा यच्छद्युवरहाः अगो चामनमो अस्मा अवस्य शृणोतो नो हवम् रुद्रो मरुत्मान् तन्नो मित्रो वरो नामा महन्तामदेति सिन्धः पृथिवी उदद्योः आते पितरमरुताम् सुम्नमे तुमानः सूर्यस्य सदृशो योधाः वीरो अर्वादिक्षमेधः प्रजा ये महिरुद्रप्रजाभिः त्वा दत्तेभिरुद्रशंसामेभिः शतम् हिमाश्रियभेषजेभिः भ्यास्मद्वेषो वितरम् यम् होव्यमेवाष्टादयस्वाभिषोचे श्रेष्ठो जातस्या रुद्रश्रियासीतवस्तामस्तवसाम् वज्रबाहो परशेन पारब्रह्मासु स्वस्ति विश्वा अभीतिरपासोऽयभे मा त्वा रुद्रचक्रधा मानवो भर्मा दुष्टो ते वृषभमासोते उन्नो वीरा अर्पय भेषजभिर्भिषक्तामम् त्वाभिषजाम् शृणोमि हवेम भर्हवते यो हविर्भिरवस्तोमेभिरुद्रम् देशीया रुदोदरस्य हवो मानो अस्येव भृश्यप्रोरीरधन्मनागी उन्मामन्तवृषभो मरुत्वान् पक्षीयसावयासा नाधामानम् घृणेमच्छायामारपाः श्रिया विवासेयम् रुद्रस्यासुम्नम् क्वास्य ते रुद्रमलयाकरहस्तो यो हस्ते भेषजो जलासः अपभर्तारपासो देव्यस्याभिनवाः वृषभचक्षमीथाः प्रबभ्रवे वृषभायश्विते च महोमहेम् सुष्ठुतमेरयामि नमस्याकल्मणिकिरन्नमो भरगणेमसि द्वेषम् रुद्रस्य नाम स्थिरेभिरङ्गैः पुरुरोपा उग्रोपभृशुक्रेभिर्प्रविशेरण्यैः नागस्य भवानस्य भोरेर्नवाहो योषद्रुद्रादा सूर्यम् अर्हन् बिभर्षिसायाकानि धन्वार्हन् निष्कञ्यादितम् विश्वरोपम् अर्हन् निदन्दायसे विश्वमभन्नवा ओजीयो रुद्रत्वदस्ते सुहेश्रुताङ्गर्तसतयवाणम् मृगन्न भीममोपहत्रमुग्रम् न राजा रुद्रे रुद्रस्तवानोऽन्यन्ते अस्मिन्निपातन्तु सेनाः कुमारश्चित्पितरम् मन्तामानम् प्रदेनानामरुद्रोपयन्तम् भूरेर्दातारम् सत्पादिङ्गणेशस्तम्भेषुजारास्यस्मे यावो भेषजामार्तशुचेन् याशन्तामावृषणो यामायो भो यानि मनुरवृणीता पितानस्तासंसयोश्च रुद्रस्यावश्मे परिणो हेते रुद्रस्यावृज्या परित्पेषस्या धर्मधर्महीगात् अवस्थिरामगवध्यस्तनश्वमेध्वस्तोकायतनायाय मृळा एवाबभ्रो वृषभजे किदानि यथा देवनहृनिशेन हंसे हवनः शृण्णो रुद्रे हवोऽदि बृहद्वा देव विकथे सुवीरा सोमा रुद्राधारये थामसूर्या अम्ब्रवामष्टयोरामष्टवन्तो दमे दमे सप्तरत्नादधानासन्नो भूतन्तिपते सञ्चतुष्पते सोमा रुद्रा विबृहतम् विशो चेममे मायानोकयामा विवेश आरेभादेथान्नर्तिम्बराचेरस्मे भद्रासौ शमसानि सन्तो सोमा रुद्रा इव मेधान्यस्मेन् विश्वा तनोषो भेषजानि धत्तम् अवस्यतम् मुञ्जतम् यन्नो अस्ति तनोषो भक्तम् कृतमेनो अस्मत् दिग्मायोधो दिग्महे तेषु शेवो सोमा रुद्राभिः सुमृळदन्नः प्रणो मञ्जदम् वरुणस्य पाशात् गोपायदन्नः सुमनस्य माना मा रुद्राय स्थिरधन्मणे गिराः क्षिप्रेषा देवाय स्वधाम्ने सहामानाय वेधसे दिग्मायोधाय भरताश्नोतो नः सहिक्षयेण क्षम्यस्य जन्मानः साम्राज्येण दिव्यस्य चेतरि अवन्नवन्ति रूपाणो दुरश्चराणमीवो रुद्रजासो नो भवा याते विद्युदमा सृष्टा दिवस्परिक्ष्मया चरादिपरिसाम्रेणत्तु नः सहस्रन्तेष्वपि वातभेषुजामानस्तोकेषु तनायेषु रीरिषः मानो अवधेरुद्रमापराता माते भूमः प्रसीतो हेमतस्य आणो भज बलियजे येव संसे यूयम् पात स्वस्तिभिः सदा नः प्रजया धनेन त्यागेणीके अमृतत्वमानुषः परेण नाकन्निहितम् गुहायाम् विभ्राजते मद्विदयो विशन्ति वेदान्तविज्ञानसनिश्चितार्थाः सन्न्यासयोगाश्वत्थसत्त्वाः ते ब्रह्मलोके परान्तकाले परामृताः परेक्षन्ति सर्वे द्रष्टुम् विभावम् परमेष्वभूते यत्पुण्डरीकम् पुरमध्यशक्तिस्तम् तत्रापि चक्रम् ग्रहणम् विशोकस्तस्मिन् यदुर्गस्तदुपासितव्यम् यो वेदादौ स्वरः प्रोक्तो वेदान्ते च प्रतिष्ठितः तस्य प्रकृतिमेवस्य यः परः स्वमहेश्वरः
I request our chief guest, Shri T.S. Krishnamurti, and our gurus, Shri S. Sridharan, Dr. Mala Kapadia, Shri Chandrabhan, Dr. S. Ramaratnam, Dr. P.R. Mukund, Shri D.K. Hari and Hema, Hari, Shri D.V. Sridharan to come on stage. Grateful to Guru's 2023 awardees. Chitram Vatataror Mule Vriddhaha Shishyaha Gururiva. Gurusto Maunam Vyakhyanam Shishyasu Chinna Samshayaha. The Dakshinamurti Stotram marvels at the sight of youthful gurus entrusting their aged Shishyas without uttering a word. The Guru, an ancient embodiment of wisdom and dispeller of ignorance, transcends time and thought. Every year, on the Purnima of the Ashada month, the traditional period of Chaturmasya commences. A time dedicated to sadhana, swadhyaya and tapas. This is associated with the emergence of Maharishi Vedavyasa, who is the compiler and editor of the Vedas, author of the Mahabharata and the Puranas. He is the Guru of Gurus and Avatara Purusha. This day is celebrated as Guru Purnima to honor him. At Indica, Guru Purnima serves as an occasion to acknowledge the silent gurus among us who have played a crucial role in dispelling ignorance and preserving dharma. Each year, we pay tribute to scholars, artists, leaders and activists who have dedicated decades of their lives to preserving and promoting our culture, while resisting the growing assaults on our dharmic spaces, traditions, guru, and the essence of Sanatana Dharma itself. The tradition of honoring the gurus was started in 2019 and post-COVID, this is the second edition and will be on an annual basis here on. We now move on to the citations and honors to our gurus. Shri. Sridharan. Sridharan, 74 years old, is the senior most teacher of the Krishnamacharya Yoga Mandiram. He is presently the advisor, senior yoga therapist consultant and mentor at KYM. He had a successful career as a merchant banker in a public sector bank for 28 years. He became a student of TKV Desikachar in 1980s and learned the nuances of yoga in the Gurukula style directly for over 3 decades, during which time he was exposed to all the important texts in yoga and application of yoga for illness and spirituality. He also learned Vedic chanting in the traditional style under his teacher. From 2010 to 2015, he served as a member of the governing council of the Moraji Desai National Institute of Yoga, the apex body for yoga of the Ministry of Ayush, Government of India. He is the Vice President, Executive Council and a lifetime member of IYA. He is a member of the governing body of the Central Council for Research in Yoga and Naturopathy. He is a member of the Yoga Certification Board set up by the Ministry of Ayush, which is active in bringing certification for yoga teachers. Dr. Mala Kapadia. Mala Kapadia. Dr. Mala Kapadia, PhD, is a director of Anadi Transdisciplinary Research Initiatives, Pioneer Coimbatore. Briefly, she was also a professor research for Resurgence Foundation. Dr. Mala is principal investigator in a research project under IKS, MOE, Government of India. The project encompasses creating a framework and index of well-being and happiness based on Hyetu in Sukha-Yug constructs of Ayurveda. She has designed curriculums based on the same for higher education. Dr. Mala was Professor and Director, Center for Wellbeing and Wellness, RSLP, Vishihood University, Sonipat. She is the founder of Human Potential Consulting named Tame the Monkey. Dr. Mala was an adjunct professor with S.P. Jain School of Global Management at Dubai, Singapore, Sydney and Mumbai campuses from 2005 to March 2020. A PhD in literature, her academic journey is through psychology, human resources, yoga and Ayurveda, film and video production. Her career has been through research, education, journalism, human resources and consulting. Her area of research is Indic wisdom for the betterment of humanity. Her strength is integrating wisdom of India with modern theories and research in the fields of wellness and well-being, emotional intelligence, positive psychology, leadership and feminine energy. Education psychology through Ayurveda and yoga is an integral research area and one of the focus areas of her current work, along with creating Indic frameworks and course curriculum for integration into mainstream courses. Shri Chandrabhan. Shri Jha has practiced clinical Ayurveda using Rasa Aushadhis for over 45 years. He is an expert of the making and clinical use of bhasmas and has published over 200 papers. He has formally guided 24 MD theses and 16 PhD theses of Rasa Shastra and taught thousands of Ayurvedic students at BHU over 40 years, as well as giving thousands of lectures throughout India. Professor Jha has helped conduct hundreds of examinations in hundreds of academic institutions, meeting most of the notable faculty and students of Rasa Shastra in India today. He served as the only professor of Rasa Shastra at BHU after working the department for 34 years. He also served as a HOD 4 terms, Superintendent of Ayurvedic Pharmacy over a decade, Dean of BHU Faculty of Ayurveda from 2011 until 2014. Professor Jha also served as an interim HOD of Agada Tantra, Swastha Vritta, Roga Nidhan, Siddhanta Darshana. Professor Jha served as an elected faculty representative of CCIM and senior CCIM advisor for the Government of India, deputed for events throughout India related to Ayurvedic education on a regular basis. He was appointed member in over 15 national and state level academic policy planning committees. He is an appointed member at the BHU Bharata Adhyan Kendra BHU Center for India Studies, where he leads program and content on ancient Indian chemistry focusing on Rasa Aushadhis and basic and clinical aspects of bhasma preparation and use. He is a father figure to thousands of students, a respected teacher and physician to tens of thousands of patients, and is father to 4 children. Dr. S. Ramaratnam. Dr. S. Ramaratnam is the Vedic Chancellor of Jagadguru Kripalu University, Odisha. Before taking up the present assignment, he was working as the Vice Chancellor of Shri University, Odisha. He has nearly 50 years of experience in the academic world. He has 5 graduate degrees, 5 postgraduate degrees and diplomas in Telugu, Kannada, French, German and in 7 other subjects. He has been awarded titles such as Sahitya Vallabha, Kala Shastra Pranagata and Bharata Kala Nipuna. He has worked as visiting professor at Oxford University and Mauritius University. He has authored a number of books and over 50 articles in leading journals. His latest books are Management Mantras, Sanskrit Dramas, The Ritual Traditions of India, and Yoga Sutra of Patanjali. Dr. P.R. Mukund. Dr. P.R. Mukund is an educator, researcher, and entrepreneur. He is a professor emeritus of electrical engineering at Rochester Institute of Technology, New York. He was an IEEE distinguished lecturer and past general chair of IEEE SOCC. His area of specialization is analog and RF IC design. He received his BS, EEE, and MS, PhD in electrical engineering from the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. He has published extensively in refereed in international conference and journals. He has brought in more than $2 million research funding to the Rochester Institute of Technology. He is also a keen student and teacher of the Vedic way of life. His specialty is connecting the worlds of modern science and ancient spirituality in an easy to understand manner for students and anyone aspiring to learn. He published a book called 10 Gunas that brings out the Indic definition of success and 10 steps in accomplishing the same. He and his team of image scientists have patented a unique technology, Warfilch TM, I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrongly, which allows people to preserve very old manuscripts using multispectral image processing. Shri D.K. Hari and Hema Hari. Dr. D.K. Hari and Hema Hari together started the Bharat Gyan initiative in civilization studies in the year 2000. Bharat Gyan follows an interdisciplinary approach to researching on India from an Indic perspective and provides an integrated Indic narrative of the Indian civilization. Till date, in 2020, based on a research compilation of 500 plus hours of multimedia content across 108 plus subjects, they have co-authored and brought out the following publications on Indian civilization. 40 books on the Indian civilization in English and their translations into Hindi, Kannada, Marathi, Gujarati and Tamil. 300 short films on Indian civilization for social media, 5 documentaries, 60 mini books. Please hear a few words from Dr. Pankaj Parikh of USA, who nominated the couple for his honor. It's an audience.
Dr. Pankaj Parikh from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Sorry, sir.
While practicing as a cardiologist, my additional and I would say main passion has been to explore Indian spiritual heritage, primarily by exploring the mystics of India from a gone-by era to the contemporary ones. While enjoying that extraordinary heritage in a huge way, I did not realize what I missed till I came across Doctors Hema and Dr. Hari at a course given by them at Hindu University of America about 2 years ago. And that opened my eyes to the need to inform our generation of authentic facts about India, especially of the past era. Dr. Hari with Hema ji has done a Herculean task over the last 25 to 30 years to investigate firsthand the depth and breadth of Bharatan, Indian knowledge system, Hinduism, and connectivity of India to the other nations over the last few millennia. I learned more from their work about a variety of aspects of India than I ever learned from other sources. They have authenticated their facts and kept records for verification that makes their work a lot more interesting. India owes a lot for that invaluable contribution. They have also selflessly published their work in books and audio-video formats for all to enjoy. Even though I never knew the couple till I took their course at Hindu University of America, they both have answered several queries from me over the past few years and have been available almost instantly without any expectation, reservation, or demand. I cannot imagine the voluminous legacy they are going to leave behind. In a separate satsang group online, they have been so well received with huge interest by all the members. I feel Indian Renaissance will owe a lot to their contribution. I sincerely admire the openness and understanding of the team at Indica for valuing their contribution. Their recognition will bolster the Doctors Hema Hari team all the more in their pursuit of their excellence in their chosen Karma Yoga. Mahadevanji Sitaraman had been gracious enough to be there on my behalf and extend his own recognition and also of Hindu University of America to Hema ji and Hari ji. I appreciate him too. Thank you, and again wishing the best luck to Indica and Doctors Hema and Hari. I remain Dr. Pankaj Parikh, Raleigh, North Carolina. Thank you.
Shri Sridharan. Na karmana na prajaye dhanena tyage naike amrutatva ma nashuhu. Immortality is not to be reached by action, progeny or wealth, but by tyaga alone, as the Sannyasa Sutta of the Kaivalya Upanishad has it. It is with these thoughts that we felicitate our co-founder and mentor, Shri Sridharan. In his long career as a public-spirited citizen and philanthropist, Shri Sridharan has rejuvenated a land parcel in an arid part of India and converted it into a rich land hosting organic farms, a school, and a mini sanctuary for wild animals. Shri Sridharan has been a pioneer internet Hindu way before any of us even heard of this term. With his hugely popular Good News India blogs and newsletters for several years. The best of these have now been published as a book under the same title and has inspired many to focus on the positive side of human life and their contributions to this world, keeping at bay the daily barrage of negative news that hits us from all sides. He has also mentored a whole generation of people in Indic Academy in the art of being kind. He has been the classic friend, philosopher and guide for everyone at Indic Academy, from the youngest intern to its chief, Shri Vadlamani. We are really grateful to him for his contributions and glad to honor him as our Guru at this occasion. We request any of our gurus to say a few words.
Thank you so much, Anita. Ellarkum namaskaram. Just a brief acknowledgement and thank you. Just a few points. First of all, we need to thank Indica for bestowing this award on us. A deep sense of gratitude. And more importantly, Ellarkum namaskaram. And the key thing is we want to appreciate Indica for creating a platform over the last decade for so many young scholars to bring out their knowledge in a variety of ways. I think that needs a special appreciation of the institution of Indica for youngsters, which is what they have done. And in this, we'd like to particularly obviously thank the founder, Sri Vadlamani. Appreciation and thanks to him. He is basically a person of Singapore. So his initiative in founding Indica needs to be appreciated here. Over the last few decades, you see, many Indians, thousands and lakhs, crores probably, have traveled to different parts of the world and enriched those parts of the world too, which in our Vedic way we call as Krinvanto Vishwamaryam. Truly, they have all been that. In that, it's only a small percentage who have really thought it appropriate, thought it fit to contribute back something for their country of origin. Many people have done that now over the last few decades in their own ways or in their own places. In that, a fewer still have been able to make this contribution, if you really see, in the field of knowledge. One of that, there are just a handful of you who've been able to specific school, hospital, different things are doing. But Indian knowledge, it's been fewer. In that, I think Harikar Vadlamani, among the few people, have taken a front step in that, and we need to appreciate and acknowledge that in this forum and multiple forums. So, many people have done well in the world, Indians wherever they've gone across. And they've invested back in India in different ways. But look at this, there are again only a handful of people who have said, okay, I've done well, I'm going to put some substantial amount of it back to knowledge in India. And that is how Indica came out. So this again is a very handful of people. Again, which needs to, because it's a very abstract area when you start off with. But only as you go along through a decade, you really start to see value. That is again that needs to be appreciated. And we both at Bharat Gyan are indeed honored to be recipients of this particular award here. And along with so many great scholars, both in this platform and who have already been awarded in different parts of India and the world over the last couple of weeks. So certainly for us, it is distinguished to be among these distinguished scholars, truly. And in this journey of knowledge, if you are getting recognized by compatriots who have also been in this journey of knowledge, it's that much more heartening. See, because in other fields you got something called the peer concept, peer review. So there's one peer recognizes other peer, he recognizes other peer. Unfortunately, in Indian thought, that's very less. Those who are in this, they know it. In the Indian system, it's been very less in the last few decades. But here, if a peer, Indica recognizes Bharat Gyan, it shows the amount of respect, trust that all of us have to develop an Indic ecosystem. So that, from that perspective also, we would like to appreciate this effort of all the people here, along with Indica, for having come up with this perspective. And as you said, when these nominations were being put forth, called for, it was Dr. Pankaj Parekh, our friend. As you said, he is a cardiologist in Raleigh, North Carolina. He is also head of the Satsang group there, coordinator of the group. And as he himself mentioned so kindly, he is a student in Hindu University America course. So he said, I am going to nominate you. I said, sir, there could be so many more people who need that earlier, because we are still young. Of course, we are always young. We still like there are so many elders to be nominated. He said, no, I'm going to nominate you this year. I said, go ahead, sir, your choice. So we'd like to thank him for nominating. And then his friend, Mr. Mahadev, has come here. The audience, we'd like to thank him for being here. That also. And also, we'd like to congratulate every recipient this year and the previous years for this to receive this award. And more importantly, look at the word grateful to gurus. Very well coined. On the term guru, I think my wife Hema will be able to explain this much better to all.
Namaskaram. But before getting on to that, actually by bestowing this honor on us, Indica has actually placed a greater responsibility on us to carry on this parampara for the next, help carry on this parampara for the next few generations. As the word guru itself, it comes from the root gur, which means to lift, to pull, and guru is one who elevates all the minds. And there are so many young minds eager today, which we see, we have been seeing, we've been experiencing. The young minds are thirsting for Indian knowledge. And it is our responsibility, collective responsibility of all the people here who have been awarded today, who have been soaking in this Indian knowledge system, to ensure that this can reach all these young minds. Today, Indian knowledge system is a buzzword as well, especially, but now it is still limited to people with Indic thought. And it is our responsibility now to take it to the larger section of India and see that it reaches. As they say, this is a Guru Sishya Parampara. Look at the word Parampara. It is para, beyond and beyond and beyond. How can we keep this knowledge going beyond time, beyond generations? So that is what we need. And today we also have the challenge of how do we blend it with modern knowledge, which some of our friends have so beautifully done. And therefore we say that this has actually placed a higher responsibility on us, and we are very honored that we are sharing this honor along with a few of our own gurus too, like we have Shri Sridharan ji here, with whom we have had a few sessions on yoga many years ago, and another guru who was my first music guru, Shri Alamelu Mani, and one of her other students is also here. So she was the one who initiated me into music, and that took me all the way to even get a chance to learn from Padma Vibhushan Srimati D.K. Pattamal as well. So innumerable number of gurus and innumerable number of scholars who have helped us in our journey to collate and compile all this knowledge. We thank each and every one of them, and we recall all of them and their help today when we are receiving this honor. Like they say, it is Entaro Mahanu Bhavulu, Antariki Vandanamulu. There are so many people behind every little bit of information that we know. And to all of them we owe, whether we call them our guru or not. When we know something indirectly, we are acknowledging all our gurus as well. And this Grateful to Gurus is a wonderful occasion and an event to do so. And we also thank our primary gurus, our parents, who have given us all that we have bestowed with us, and our family and friends for the support. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for those beautiful words. We request
Shri Krishnavadisha Itishwarabhyam Samprapta Chakrankana Bhashyasaram Shri Notnarankendra Yatau Samarpitaswam Shri Krishnamariyan Guruvariyamide Virodhe Kartike Mase Shatatara Krutodayam Yogacharyam Krishnamaryam Guruvaryamaham Bhaje Krishna Suri Dayapatram Jnana Vairagya Bhushanam Srimat Venkatanathāryam Vandegam Yogadeshikam Gurubhyastadgurubhyascha Namo Vakamajimage Purnimacheta Tatradyau Dampati Jagatam Pati Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaskaram to everyone. I want to thank Indica in honoring the tradition of Yoga Parampara of Krishnamacharya. And I dedicate this to my teacher, T.K. Vijayskachar, and his teacher, Krishnamacharya, and also to my colleagues, those who are now serving in Krishnamacharya Mandiram along with me. This is, as Hari said, this is a parampara. And yoga has become very popular now, particularly after Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji made it into the International Day of Yoga. Prior to that, Krishnamacharya and Desikachar and all have toiled in bringing yoga, and they have gone to places. It was not a paying profession in those days, and with that they have made such an amount of impact, keeping the pristine quality of the yoga, the roots. Presently, what is happening is there is an amount of dilution that is happening in this field, which needs and will get self-corrected, because there is so much of demand for yoga teachers now, and people would like to jump and go fast. In our system, in our parampara, we have very detailed way of going through before making a teacher, and that we still follow. We have mentor sessions and other strict quality control that we make. Because yoga sikhicha, which is becoming very popular, is one of the very dangerous things. Meaning, asastra shastra sikhicha, what is Krishnamacharya used to say. So everybody cannot do that yoga shastra, yoga sikhicha. But however, we have great traditions like this in India, and these traditions need to be honored so that, the tradition is passed down from time to time. I thank Indic for doing this, and I also thank my others, and with great respect. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. I request T. Sridharan, sir, to speak a few words.
Namaskaram. I feel a great unease sharing the stage with so many learned people. I am unique in that I am unlettered in the ways of our dharma. I'm not a learned man. So, nevertheless, I respect and thank Indic Academy for having given me this honor. I hope I'll someday get to deserve it. I'm only 81, going on to 82. I suppose I have time. I stand out from the rest of the scholars here, that in the sense that I was trained in the merchant navy. I learned to speak with more my hands than from my head or my brains. And having traveled the world around and seen most of the world before I actually got to see India, and when I finally did come to India and settle down, I realized how much of an alien I was. And there I was, unlettered in our dharmic ways, and yet somehow curiously in love with India that I had been estranged from. That's when I discovered I went out of the city and lived in a village, and for the first time I began to see around me the people who lived closer to the soil as unlettered as me. Perhaps I was a little more lettered than them, but they were so close to the soil that they seemed to understand India entirely. And that's when I decided to discover more and more people like them who are adding value to India beyond just talking about it, going through a salaried job. They actually worked, and they had no option to leave India, not that they wanted to leave India. They invested in India and they stayed on. So the next 6 years, starting in 2000, I traveled the country seeking out people, little known to others, who are adding value to India simply by living close to it. And I discovered many. And eventually, recently, that an anthology of selected articles were published as Good News India. That website became quite popular, and it also woke me up and found out and taught me a way to get into India and actually belong and do something for it in my lifetime. If I can, I found out in the second half of my 6 years of travels around the country, the kind of work that attracted me most was the conservation of our ecology and the environment. And that I could learn by instinct, by doing, without having to learn so much, having to read so much about it. Although now I understand how unwittingly I became a true Hindu, because I now believe that there's no other religion that centers the importance of environment as Hinduism does. So I come to it now, and for the last, after publishing good stories for a long while, I kept asking myself, what was my good story? What is it that I was doing? So that's when I stopped publishing other stories and tried to do something, and the only thing I knew was to restore pieces of land. So I took on 20 acres of totally abandoned, derelict land, about 100 kilometers south of Chennai, which nobody wanted. There was no topsoil, there was no water, and no food had ever grown. So I took that on, that is now coming up 17 years ago, and I'm happy to say that if I make any claim as a legacy to this country, it would be the 4 million liters of water that I harvest every year and charge into the ground. And also in a 4.5 acre patch, I am growing a natural habitat to which a barren deserted land, now birds and peacocks and hares and wild pigs and porcupines and all of them are beginning to come in. And it's an emerging habitat. And in a place where no food had ever grown, there's a small piece of organic farm spread around 3.5 acres. And all this I wanted to bequeath to India. I'm making no money out of it, and I never took any donation or contribution. It was all worked with my own sweat. Surprisingly, it doesn't take a lot of money. but it takes a lot of commitment and a lot of hard work. I'm still at it. So just to make sure that it doesn't fall into false hands, I've given space for a school to run there, in the hope that the school will outlast me and stay forever and be a guard for the water bodies that I have created, and the forest that is growing, and the organic farm that is there. And with all that, I hope it will invite more and more people to know there's always something that you can do for India without having to be very learned. If you can just see, look around. Just the other day, I saw a very engrossing video where a Sanskrit scholar explained the Rudram. Every word, every syllable of Rudram talks about nature. It's adoration of nature. Look around, adore it. And since you adore it and since you worship, do something about it. At least be part of conserving it and preserving it. So, and then it's followed by Chamakam, which I learned. I don't know the depth of it. But then you ask for boons from nature. First of all, you venerate nature. And then you ask for boon from nature. And this amount of Vedic knowledge is sufficient for me to be a good Hindu, I think. Thank you. I feel honored. I thank everyone here to have given me this opportunity to talk to you. Thank you very much. By the way, I also need your blessings and good wishes that I find good successors so that my creation doesn't fall into false hands and get destroyed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I now call Dr. Mala Kapadia to say a few words.
Namaskaram, Gurubhyo Namaha, Sabhasadebhyo Namaha. I have no words to express, but just my gratitude. It's grateful to Gurus, right, that Indika and Kiranji decided to have name for this event. And that is the true spirit of Bharata. Because gratefulness, as the mother of Shri Aurobindo said, that's the only quality we need to evolve as a human being. If we don't have gratitude, all the degrees are useless. In fact, as Hariji and Hema ji, Sridharan ji, they all have very well described the work of Indika and Kiran ji. I only say ditto to everything. But I've known him for a few years now, and I've done a few programs for Indika, and they've created such a wonderful, vibrant platform. I feel Indians are rediscovering India through Indika. My course last year on Indic psychology had more than 75 participants, from very young students to 80 plus person in Canada. And I was amazed. I was not very sure that who would want to learn Indic psychology. The person who nominated me, Suchitra, she's right here. She was my first student of a management course way back in 1999, where I was invited by the Management College in Mumbai to teach a course on emotional intelligence. And my first condition was that I will not teach the Western models. I can talk about them, but I will not teach through Western models. Because there is so much in our Bharatiya Gyan Parampara. And the deputy director then was gracious enough to allow me to teach what I wanted. So we were a small group of students and myself sitting down on the floor in a Mumbai, right? I mean, in Mumbai you don't get students who are ready to sit down on the floor and study with you. But I'm really grateful to that first batch of management students who studied Patanjali Yoga Sutras, Abhinav Gupta and Bharat Muni Natya Shastra, They integrated even the Western models, psychoneuroimmunology, and it all culminated into a beautiful course, which even today now in Indica, I expanded it down that course, and I've been teaching. So, the being here, as rightly said, is more of a responsibility. Because if we are a part of a parampara, I still remember I was in 9th standard in my school, and we had gone for a picnic, and we were taking bath in a river, and my Sanskrit teacher made me promise her, Jaishiben Bhatt. She was a devotee of the mother, and she introduced me to that path of yoga long ago. And my teacher said, we are in water and there is sun, and promise me you'll only teach spirituality. Now in 9th standard, honestly, I had no idea what is spirituality and how do you teach it. But I did promise her, and I'm grateful to her because I'm sure she has been guiding me from wherever she is on this path. I did my graduation in psychology and was utterly disappointed because they only teach Western American textbooks. And I said, but this is not psychology, there is no human evolution. Where is psychology? So I left psychology way back in 1979, but psychology never left me. And that's where I entered yoga, Ayurveda, and I've had beautiful gurus and mentors, very profound and powerful. Vaidya Bhushanam, Raghavan Tirumalapada at Cochin, Chalakudi, Krishna Kumarji, AVP at Coimbatore. And under their blessings and guidance, my entire journey in Ayurveda has been serving people and helping younger generation to feel more enthusiasm. Not just have, students who didn't get MBBS admission coming to the field of Ayurveda, but people realizing that this is what will make us Vishwaguru. And this is where I bow down to Indica, the Guru Parampara, all the gurus here. And my Shishya, she doesn't know what trouble she is in. Because if it is a parampara, it becomes now her responsibility to take the baton forward. Namaskaram.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I now call Shri Chandrabhan to say a few words.
On the dais, of the dais, I have no word to express my thankfulness, but I am very much thankful to this organization, Indica. The work which we used by the previous speakers, I am also attached since the last few years, new institution established in our Banaras Hindu University that is known as Bharat Adhyan Kendra. That includes all the Indian learning which is जैसे कह सकते हैं कि वो पीछे छूट रहा हो, तो उन सबको एक इस तरह का एफर्ट किया जा रहा है, सबको फिर से हम थोड़ा सा गति दे सकें. और उसमें क्योंकि मेरा फील्ड, माय फील्ड वाज आयुर्वेद since last you can say 50 years. I am associated with Ayurveda as a whole and Rasas as particular. आयुर्वेद का ही एक पार्ट है. आयुर्वेद में कहा गया धर्मार्थ काम मोक्षानाम आरोग्यम मूलमुत्तमम, धर्म अर्थ काम एंड मोक्ष, all this four Purusartha Chatushta is in the base of this learning, Ayurveda. Similarly, our Rasa Shastra is similar things saying that Dharmartham Upabhoganam Nasta Rajya Vivriddhaye Ayu Yovan Labhartham Muktyartham Cha Mumukshunam. This way, something they added, Nasta Rajya Vivriddhaye. If you lost your kingdom, then you can again reconstruct, rebuild your that kingdom by the siddhi of Rasa Shastra, siddhi of the Rasa, and Ayu Yovan Labhartham, for the long lifespan, healthy body, strong body, to achieve salvation, achieve the mukti. Muktyartham cha mumukshunam. This way, our this rasa discipline is saying. Jnana mukti. Without jnana, there will be no salvation. This way, our rasastra and all the Indian discipline is saying. So, how to procure jnana? How to attain jnana? For that, the healthy and strong body, stable body is very essential. Iti dhana sarir bhoganumatva anityan. This body is nasman, anitya. To make it stable and strong, sadaiva yataniyam. By the effort, you keep your body strong and healthy for a long period. For what? Iti dhana sarir bhoganumatva anityan mukti, for the salvation. And mukti, such a jnana, how you will achieve salvation. So through jnana, and jnana through the stable body, such a jnana and mukti, such a sthira devi. Without stable body, you can't achieve. Neither you can practice nor you achieve the jnana. So stable body, strong body, healthy body is essential, and Ayurveda is properly, mainly propagating these things. So our it is a great heritage, Ayurveda, and now it crossed the barrier of our Indian continent to spread all over the globe, and people are looking towards us. Many foreigners coming, particularly in Banaras University, to learn especially Ayurveda, then music, Indian music, then Jyotish, and other also the other philosophy, particularly Buddha studies, Jain studies. For that, many from the this Thailand and North countries. So this particularly Ayurveda as well as in Rasa Shastra, both have great potential. Rasa Shastra is saying that Mercury, particularly they identify Para. Para is chanchal, like our mind. So if you make Para stable, also if you make your mind stable, then you can easily achieve all the siddhis. But it is highly difficult. So they tried to make Mercury stable, and that they believe that if we stabilize the Mercury, that will make our body stable. So to make Mercury stable, they developed so many processes, And as you know that the Nagarjuna, Siddha Nagarjuna particularly, so many Nagarjuna happen from the Shunivar to the Law Siddhi or Law Abad. So many Nagarjuna happen, but the particular Nagarjuna who brought up in Nalanda University, and their pratigya is very popular. Siddhe rase karishi hamdara hidrigam jada. With the siddhi of this rasa, I can remove the poverty. Daridra. Daridra is also considered as the great disease. So we can remove this daridra by the siddhi or this rasa. This way, and particularly the things are due to breakup of this Guru Shishya Parampara, things are disappeared. Nowadays very few persons are, but those who are doing, they cannot come in light and do not try to make उनको जान लें, so they do not try to make popular. They are doing some works, and there is even a stone written in Malvi, in Vishwanath temple of Banaras University. Before the Malviji, one name I am forgetting, Harihar Prasad, they demonstrated and prepared gold through the conversion of Tar. And how much? That was more than 40 kg gold. And they donated in some this much at Haridwar. So this thing they are written in the stone. If you go visit the Vishwanath temple, so in the first floor it is written in this story. Yes. So these things are now very difficult for general people, and these days we are particularly concentrating to make a potent and effective medicine. Two things we are mainly keeping in our consideration, that our medicine should be safe and otherwise, on the other side, it will be effective. Nowadays, mercury, entire globe considering it highly hazardous. Similarly, the arsenic, the lead, nagas to naga satatulya balam dadati, our text, our acharyas are saying. Nagas, nag means lead. Nag, other side, elephant. Nagas to satatulya. Nagas to give brother, like 100 elephants. Nagas to naga satatulya balam. This way. And entire scientific world is considering lead. They are using lead. They are doing the lead poisoning, but our old disciples are here. Dr. Nagaraju, Professor Shri, Dr. Virupaksh, they are present in Tirupati and in this lignite Naiveli. There is a chief medical officer there, and Virupaksh already serving the Ayurvedic institution run by our General Secretary. So they are already done this type of work to remove the toxicity of the toxic material like mercury, lead, and other copper, and prove that our bhasmas are safe even in higher doses and for longer administration. For 90 days we have tried for chronic toxicity to give 90 days to the animals for knowing the chronic toxicity, and in higher, 10 times higher than the therapeutic dose, and prove that the scientists, modern scientists are blaming that these elements, these metals are heavy metal and they are toxic, but it is not like that. The particular metal may have toxicity, but particular compound have no toxicity. If mercury converted into sulfide compound, like resin, bromide, they are safe. No lethal dose we found. And similarly, nervous. In severe, those who are not responding to insulin, nerve within 7 to 15 days give such response. Patient first responding insulin and then they जैसे पेशेंट को 2 आदमी पकड़ करके फिजिशियन के टेबल के पास ला रहा है, 15 days के बाद alone without any help coming directly to the physician. So these things we have observed. Similarly, Dr. Shri worked on Madras, or particularly in so she proved that Madras is safe, and even those scientists are believing that it is nephrotoxic, but it is never found nephrotoxic. She tried on CRS, chronic renal failure, and shown highly significant results of CRS. So these are the examples. So nowadays we are particularly concentrating to produce high quality medicine and giving training to our students for that, and very big team for this. So I am very much thankful to the organization giving me opportunity and this felicitation. So I am thankful to it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I request Dr. Ramaratnam to say a few words.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. It's a great pleasure and honor to be with you all this evening for this wonderful function. I thank Indica for having invited us for this nice function when we are honored. I am particularly thankful to Dr. Nagaraj Paturi and Mr. Srinivas for being very kind to me. I am grateful to my former student and my former colleague, Dr. S. Muthu, for having proposed my name for this particular award. Well, to be honored on this occasion as a guru is a great thing, but it also gives me an opportunity to remember my own gurus for that matter. There were great teachers in our Sanskrit department from Krishna Mission Vivekananda College, where I had the privilege of being a student for several years, and then a teacher, and then the head of the department, and also the principal of the college from 2000 to 2004. So all those teachers, I studied mathematics first and then turned to Sanskrit. So my mathematics teachers and my Sanskrit teachers, they were all sources of inspiration. I must mention the name of Professor Kalyan Sundar Shastrigal, Professor Rajagopalan, and Professor Vishwanathan, who shaped my career for that matter. Well, I came into contact with Indica through its conferences, numerous conferences. Almost every month we have conferences. And almost in every conference, I have been given an opportunity to present my paper. Well, in these days, we are of course grateful to our teachers, but we are also grateful to our students, because but for our students, the teachers have no role to play. So on this occasion, I may quote a small humorous episode. There was a teacher, and one of the students stood up and said, "Sir, you are like our mother." The teacher was flabbergasted. And he said, "I am very happy about it. Please tell me how you consider me as your mother." Or he even said, "More than my mother, more than a mother." Then he said, "So the mother sings the lullaby and puts to sleep only her own children. But without singing a lullaby, you have put to sleep all of us." So there's a great challenge nowadays for the gurus, the teachers, to inspire the students. If you don't inspire the students, what is your teaching? Merely, narrating from your memory the same syllabus, well, doesn't make a teacher. A teacher must not only awaken the sleeping students, but also awaken their curiosity, their innate talent for that matter. They must teach them the art of asking right type of questions, and you should give them the right type of answers as well. It is said, one book, one pen, one child, and one teacher can change the whole world. That is why Swami Vivekananda said, "Give me 10 young men, I will transform the entire India." So on this occasion, I remember my alma mater, Sri Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda College. Some of my own students are also here, my colleagues, my own PhD students are here. My wife is here. If she has no objection, I can say that she is also my student. There is a teacher in every one of us. There is a child in every one of us. It is said that Shivaji once, he lost one battle particularly, and then he was in a mountainous area. He was coming down, and then there was nobody. He was very hungry. It was a tiring journey. Then he saw some flicker of a lamp, and there was one small hut, and he entered into it. And the old lady there, she said, "I think you must be one of the soldiers of Shivaji." And he said, yes, I am soldier of Shivaji. "All right, I'll give you food." He was so hungry, and the food was so hot. He took from the middle and tried to eat. His tongue was burnt, and his hand was also, it was very, very hot. And then the old lady said, "See, you did a mistake. You should first take some food from the surrounding area, and then try to take the food from the middle of the area. This is what you have to follow in your political life also. You are straight away, attacking the center point of the enemy. Don't do that. Catch hold of or win some of the smaller forts of the enemy, and then build up your strength, and then you can attack the main area of your enemy." So Shivaji learnt a lesson. Everyone is a teacher for us. We learn from the children also. A teacher is one who continues to learn. The moment the teacher says, "Enough, let me think about my salary and increment," he ceases to be a teacher. We are all really honored. There are great scholars here. In fact, I am really grateful to the organization for putting me in this group, in this company. I am really inspired by every one of them. The yoga teacher and Ayurveda scholar and management expert, all these people are here. In fact, I had a curiosity when I became the principal of the college. Well, it's a management area, so let me learn something of management. So enrolled myself in an evening college, and then when I was past 55 or so, then studied management and got a first class degree in management. And then I had an idea, I should link whatever traditional learning that I had with the so-called modern management concept. So I wrote a book, Management Mantras. It relates the management subjects with ancient wisdom from Bhagavad Gita, from Arthashastra, and several other texts for that matter. So it may be useful to you. And also, in my present role as the Vice Chancellor of Jagadguru Kripalu University, our Swamiji once said, I asked my Swamiji, what should I do during my spare time? Then he said, write a book on yoga. And the very concept, Samyogo Yoga Itikto Jivatma Paramatmano Hoiti. That's so great, wonderful for me. When it can unite, yoga can unite Jivatma and Paramatma. What a great concept it should be. And then I asked him, Swamiji, there are so many commentaries on Yoga Sutra, Patanjali Yoga Sutra. What should be new? What new element can I introduce? Then he said, look at Yoga Sutra from the point of view of bhakti. I don't think anybody has written. Therefore I started, and it's almost ready. Now it is in the press. Maybe in another 15 days or so the book will be out. So a teacher has to have continuous quest for knowledge and learning, and keep on working and be a source of inspiration for his students. And all these people have inspired us. I am grateful to Indica again for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I call Shri Dr. P.R. Mukund to come say a few words.
Shri Guru Dinamalar. I'm actually, in a way, a misfit in this group because I come from a technology background. I'm an engineering professor. I've been in the field of electronics for 49 years, and most of my life I've lived in the US. So you may say that, then why are you standing here? This is the wrong podium for you. Well, something happened along the way, and at the outset, before I get into that story, I would like to thank Indic Academy, Shri Harikiranji, and all the organizers here. I don't know all of them, but I was almost embarrassed and deeply touched when they did Path Puja. So I want to pass it on. My Adiguru said once, Naham karta harik karta et pujan chakilam. So he says, my Adiguru said, I did not do anything. Shri Hari did everything. And everything was his worship. And my good fortune is that he used me in that worship. So it would be stupid on my part to assume that I did something. I have not done anything. So I would like to actually take this and offer it to my Aradhya Murti Shri Krishna and my Guru, the late Padma Shri Dr. Dhananjay Govindacharya. So I'll just take a few minutes to share with you perhaps why I'm here. If you look at our jnana, long time ago you saw some people did Veda Bhushana just at the beginning, right? So our jnana parampara was mostly oral. And there's a reason for that. It's not because they didn't know how to write. There's a reason for that, because especially in the Vedas, the nada has as much meaning as the sahitya. And so the intonation is extremely important, and you cannot just write it on paper, right? However, in the last 1,000 years or so roughly, things have been put down in words, and one of them, I don't remember, it was somebody was talking about a shasana in stone, but more recently, depending on which part of Bharat you're from, like I come from the southern part, I'm from Karnataka, and we use palm leaves, dried palm leaves. Some people use tree bark and so on. So we have palm leaf manuscripts that go back 800, 900 years ago. And I have to tell you a little story. Can I take another quote? Okay, I'll just take about 2 or 3 minutes. in 1906, at that time, the British were ruling this land, as you know. They decided that they wanted to get all the manuscripts, palm leaf manuscripts from Kashi, Banaras. So they went to all the Pandits and tried to get it, but they did not anticipate one problem. They would not allow them to come inside the house. So they said, oops, we have a problem here. So they went to Nepal and commissioned, at that time, the Prime Minister of Nepal, his name was Chandrabhan, and gave him money to go to Banaras and go house to house and pay money and put it in writing, have a receipt, and buy that officially. So they took away thousands and thousands of manuscripts on Ayurveda, you name it, philosophy, Puranas. And I was just telling him, he was sitting next to me before we came up on stage, I was telling him a little incident, that the most ancient written Bhagavad Gita, guess where it is? Oxford University. It's not in this country. So, it's in Nepali script. And so I went to Oxford University 2 times, had meetings there, and I tried to bring it back. And their thing was, it is our property, we have written receipts. And my answer to them was, you bought the manuscript. The manuscript is your property, but what is in the manuscript is our property. And so my thing was, let's not get nitpicky and start fighting and all these things. After all, knowledge is for everybody. Bhagavad Gita is not just for people in India, it's for the whole world. Shri Krishna is for, what he said is for humanity. So, I'm not claiming that it's only for us. However, it originated here. So, after many discussions and all that, it's a long story. So, managed to get it back, and in IGNCA, some of you may know, at Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts, there's a National Manuscript Mission. I was able to get back, give it to them. So, fortunately, a copy of that is in our manuscript mission now in Delhi. There are thousands and thousands. If you go to Bodleian Library, this Oxford University Library, the basement, there's a thing called India Institute. And as you go down, there's a big picture of that Nepali Prime Minister. And he was knighted for that. He became Sir Chandrabhan. And whatever, I don't care. So the thing is that what we are attempting to do, we have started a non-profit trust called Ramaratnam in 2008. I've been working in this field for about 25 years actually, but officially we started a trust. And the thing is, what we realized was that many of these manuscripts, I don't know how familiar you are when you have seen a palm leaf manuscript, they don't write, they engrave. It's engraved. And then they put ink on that. So what happens is, after a few hundred years, the ink will disappear. And sometimes there'll be moss that grows on top of that. So you cannot read it at all. So many manuscripts people threw away in rivers, saying that we can never read this. But we came up with a technology called multispectral imaging, which she mentioned when she introduced me. And using that, actually we can extract images, even things we cannot read at all. And as of today, we have preserved about 3,200 manuscripts. And so we continue to do that. I have a team, some of my shishas are here. We recently, just this year, in January, near Udupi, in coastal Karnataka, that's our spiritual center. So we built a library for a permanent, so all these manuscripts are going to be there. Anybody can come and study, do research. It's free. And one other aspect I'll briefly mention is that in my career as an engineering professor, I realized that so many young people, some of my PhD students and all that would come from India. And I realized that these young people are very lost. They're actually lost. I mean, they're very smart, they're intelligent, and engineering, they all go on to earn a lot of money and all these things. But they're really missing that there's a vacuum inside them, and that vacuum can only be filled with Vaidika Jnana. So I started giving these courses and all that in the university, outside my field, of course, and that has grown a lot. And so I try to map Vedic knowledge to applicable things in everyday life for people of this generation whose problems are very, very different from our problems, and sometimes we cannot even relate to that. However, we can do something about it, and I'm glad to say that wherever I go, I go to IITs, and I'm going very soon, I'm going to give a talk in IIS in Bangalore. So they relate to that, except that you have to present it in a manner in which they understand, that's all. So that's what I do. Like I said, I'm very honored to be sitting with these people. I don't know if I deserve it or not, but the thing is that it truly is, it's amazing that this organization is doing this. I'm really surprised, very pleasantly surprised, because I'm sure this is true for many of us, we keep doing it not to get any award or something, it's because we cannot help it, right? And this is who we are, and even if you say, I won't do it, tomorrow morning you're going to continue to do it. So I hope this parampara continues, grows in Bharat, and I truly, honestly hope and pray that Bharat again becomes a Vishwa Guru. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you, sir. I request Shri Kumar and Shri Muthuraman sir to honor our chief guest. Thank you, sir. I now request Shri T.S. Krishnamurthy sir, our chief guest, to address the gathering.
Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat, Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. In fact, only last week I was in Sringeri to meet our Guru. I had an excellent trip there in spite of the rain there. I also went to Guru Ayur immediately thereafter, which is my Ishta Devata. And the Guru was playing a very important role in my life, at least in the last 1 week when I have been traveling. First of all, let me compliment the Indica organization for the excellent way in which they honor scholars. When I entered this room, actually I am associated with this Tattva. I have been coming regularly initially when I wrote my first book. And when I entered the room, I always have seen people, scholars and all that. But I have never seen so many battery of cameras here. This is something surprising because when I was holding my office in the Election Commission, I used to these cameras. But I thought I have been freed from all those clutches of those cameras. But then I find, it gives you some kind of a self-satisfaction. But I'm glad that there are cameramen to hear the scholars' performance, the honoring of the scholars. That is my compliments to all the press media. The honoring Guru is our tradition. We have been taught the art of learning
through revered gurus. I remember once I was addressing, I'll take only about 10 minutes because I know people are wanting to go. I was addressing the students of the Institute of Management in Delhi. So I said, you must have some love and passion for your country, you must be patriotic. And in the question and answer session, one student asked me how to become, love your country, how to be patriotic. I said, discover India. This is a country which has tremendous resources in terms of knowledge. Every corner of this country can teach you so much. The initial learning you can do it through books, but you must visit. And I have had the honor. I must thank the government for having appointed me in the election commission. I have gone to nook and corner of this country, every state I visited. You should really be proud of the great legacy that we have got. And we must develop some kind of an attachment to the various cultural legacies of this country. I don't think any country in the world can claim to have this kind of a tradition. And I was touched by the gesture of, washing the feet and offering kumkum and welcoming the scholars. Sometimes I felt a little out of place because they put me in the center of the auditorium. Maybe to isolate that I am not that kind of a scholar. But I felt a little out of place because I don't think I can be in a position to honor them because they are honoring themselves with their knowledge. But what is curious is I thought maybe because I'm an aged person, I'm 82, I thought I am probably entitled to sit in the center of the auditorium to honor them. But I was surprised that one of the scholars is 82 years old. And that privilege also has been denied to me. One of the things that I thought I should stress today, that gurus, not only that we honor them, but we have never, ever discriminated gurus either due to gender or the caste. Unfortunately, in this country, many people don't realize some of the highest traditions in learning. The other day, I got a WhatsApp TV interview between a Pakistan scholar by a Pakistan TV anchor. You'll be surprised at what it will mean. That gentleman, he says, the knowledge I have gained is only through Bhagavad Gita. And then he says that the Abrahamic religions, although they have their own merits, and I'm not decrying any one of them, but he says they're all centered around one person who claims to have the voice of God. But here there is no individual claiming any authority. It's all knowledge and knowledge and knowledge only. And he says even the treatment of women, he was mentioning that how they are suppressed in other societies, and only in the societies in India, they not only respected women, but they welcomed all religions to come to this country. They've never ever discriminated other religions. I don't have to teach this. The Discovery of India, is by Jawaharlal Nehru, to read, what kind of a rich legacy we have. This is what I told that girl. You read first Discovery of India and then visit various parts and discover India. This is very important for us because the younger generation is unfortunately, carried away by the Western civilization. But many of them are coming to India to learn about Indian civilization, whereas our youngsters seem to have lost themselves. Partly, I think the responsibility is that of the parents. We have encouraged them to study, to go abroad, and to forget our country. We seem to have stressed so much in education and acquisition of wealth that we have forgotten over a period of time the rich legacy of this country. And I do hope honoring such scholars, the way in which they are honored, will inspire the young people to know the importance of being an Indian, being a follower of Sanatana Dharma, so many things that we should be really proud of. Unfortunately, TN session சொல்லுவார், கணத்து தவளை மாதிரி நம்ம இருந்துட்டோம். We have never ever publicized our knowledge, our culture, our legacy. நிறைய நம்ம இந்த தேசத்துக்கு நிறைய செய்ய வேண்டியது நிறைய இருக்கு. And I do hope that institutions like Indica will blossom more, not only to the cities, but we have to go to the villages. But one of the things I have also like to express here today is that the Sanatana Dharma is not understood by many people in this country. I do not think that they have really done justice to the legacy that we have. We need to go. In fact, many people are totally unaware of what is there in our valuable texts. It is necessary. In fact, I have told one of the organizations to bring out small booklets of 3-4 pages or 4 pages, illustrating a one point that comes in any of our mythologies or in our Upanishads. And then highlight this point with necessary pictures so that the younger children, they get to know the kind of knowledge that has pervaded in this country centuries ago. There is also the tradition of multiple gurus that we have had. It is not necessarily that we have only one guru. And as somebody mentioned, initially it was only a oral teaching. So they used to go from places to places, from person to person to learn the knowledge we feel in which they are interested. But 10 important characteristics are mentioned in our text that a guru should have. And because very often I used to refer to Abraham Lincoln's letter to the headmaster of his son. Teach some of the basic things of life in the school. The teachers have got a responsibility to teach some of the basic things, particularly the human aspect of life. The 10 characteristics that are mentioned here are selflessness, wisdom, purity of heart, courage, spiritual realization, compassion, inspiration, patience, and empathy. These are the 10 qualities that are first for the teacher. I remember many of the teachers of mine, both in the school and the colleges, I can mention their names, but some of them used to be really role models to learn. There was one teacher I remember in St. Joseph's College, Bangalore, where I did my graduation. All classes they used to take attendance, but he will never take attendance in the class. But the class will be full. That's the kind of attraction that he had. His teaching style used to inspire people, and they will come and he will never take attendance of students. So teacher has a great role to play to attract the bright minds and to shape them. I'm sure these scholars have done that, and there are many more doing it. And this is only a small step, but I think it is necessary to spread this message across. We should go to every state. We should go to every district, I would say. In fact, when I was the chairman of the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan in Chennai, I made a suggestion that we should have a Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan in every district. Unfortunately, the management there didn't have this kind of an expansionist idea. But we have to take to every corner of the world, of this country, and try to spread the message of peace, harmony, love, and many inspiring thoughts of our great scholars. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity, and I sincerely hope that there will be many more such occasions to honor our scholars in this country. Thank you very much. நான் எப்போதுமே மெனி இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன்ஸ்ல என்னோட ஸ்பீச்சை முடிக்கிற போது ஒரு திருக்குறள் சொல்லிட்டு முடிப்பேன். மேபி தட் இஸ் ரெலவெண்ட் ஹியர். திருக்குறள் நிறைய விஷயங்கள் இருக்கிறது. நம்ம தமிழ்நாட்டுக்கு ஒரு பெரிய பெருமை தந்த ஒரு இலக்கியம். அது ஒரு திருக்குறள் என்னன்னா, அழுக்காறு அவா வெகுளி இன்னாசொல். இவை நான்கும் தவிர்த்தால் அறம். This is, in my opinion, key to management in life. என்னன்னா அழுக்காருன்னா பொறாமை, அவான பேராசை, வெகுளின கோபம், inasul, harsh words. If you can avoid, you are practicing dharma. In fact, there cannot be a better teaching in management than this small little Quran. So those who want to spread this message, I will be very happy if we can tell the people. Because when you look at this world, particularly India, of course there are other places, hatred and violence seem to be ruling this country. The world actually, many parts of the world, there's so much of hatred and violence, innocent lives are being lost. Adukala answer in the Telugu now. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. I request our guests to gather for a photo along with our chief guest.
The photo shot and the
தமிழ் பயன் காண மயிலாட கலியிருந்த வான்கோடி தான் மதிவான பாவித்து சொல்லாசிரியை எடுத்து ஆடினார் கல்லாதான் கற்ற கவி. இப்போ நானும் போட்டேன்னா அவங்கள மாதிரி நான்
Chandrabhan to deliver all the thanks.
Good evening. It's a matter of great pride and honor to propose. Please get seated. We have just 4 more minutes of the function. It's a matter of great pride and honor to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. As a representative of Indic Academy, Chennai, I thank the Chief Election Commissioner, P.S. Tripaluji, for his time, for his presence, and for staying to the function and honoring all of us with his presence. I must thank all the gurus who accepted our invitation to be present here and also accept the honor and the award. I know some of them had to drive down, some have come from Bangalore, Mukund, Varanasi, Orissa, Maduranthapur, and there are people who have a flight later this evening to catch. So, amidst all this, to be present here and stay through the ceremony and to accept our honor, I thank all of you on behalf of Indic Academy. I thank all the nominees who took time to fill up those forms, who made our job of identifying these scholars easy. I thank the members of the press who have not only come in good numbers but also stayed through and done a good coverage. I thank the audience. A special thanks to the press team. Thanks to Mr. Meenakshi Sundaram, who is handling the press coverage today on behalf of Indic Academy. I thank you all for your presence here. With these two words, I would like to request Sridharan to get along with the rest of the program. Thank you once again for your presence.
I request all to stand up for the national anthem.